Paymaster Services, saying it urgently needs money to pay social grants next month. The company's lawyers say it has not been paid since the beginning of April. Now, CPS representatives have written to Chief Justice Mogoeng Mogoeng over the outstanding payment. We are now joined by the South African Social Security Agency spokesperson, Paseka Letsatsi, just to give us a little bit more update on this situation. Is it the case, Paseka, and good afternoon, thanks for joining us, that CPS has not been paid and that the social grants that need to be paid in June may be in jeopardy?
Good afternoon, Braden, and good afternoon to the viewers at home as well. Look, Braden, the Concord has made a decision to extend the current contract between us and the CPS on the same terms and conditions. So as an organization, the South African Social Security Agency, we are obliged to implement the Concord decision as it is. And I think, unfortunately, as we speak now, we are still awaiting an invoice from the CPS, because as an organization, we are obliged when we get an invoice from a service provider to make sure that we pay immediately.
Are you saying that CPS has not invoiced you yet? Because from what we're hearing, their lawyers are reportedly saying they've not been paid since the beginning of April. Now you are saying you will pay if you get the invoice. So they didn't give you an invoice yet?
We have not got the invoice yet, Braden, as we speak. Like I'm saying, once the invoice comes to us, we will definitely pay. But remember, there are some interactions. Remember, the Concord said if there's any request from CPS for the fee to be increased, there must be an engagement between CPS and National Treasury. We can confirm that those particular interactions are taking place. However, as an organization, we implement what the Concord says. Whatever CPS and maybe National Treasury might have engaged on, it remains a recommendation until it's approved and endorsed by the Concord. So as an organization, we are committed to make sure that we pay CPS what is due to them. In actual fact, if we are ordered by the Concord to say we must pay back a certain amount of money, as an organization, we would definitely oblige and make sure that CPS is paid, because at the center of what we are doing is to make sure that the rights and the interest of the beneficiaries are protected at all costs.
Now, Paseka, I'm a little bit baffled here. Are you saying that CPS has not invoiced you, hence they have not been paid, although they're now complaining, according to what we are hearing, their lawyers to the Constitutional Court, that they've not been paid and they have no cash, and therefore they may not be able to disperse the social grants payments in June? I'm just trying to understand, I mean, who's at fault here?
Let me just clear that confusion, brother, quickly. Remember, the Concord made an order that this current contract must be implemented as it is, meaning the terms and the conditions are the same. However, the Concord said if there has to be an increase which is requested by the CPS, there must be an interaction between CPS and National Treasury, of which the recommendation must go to Concord. That process, Braden, is taking place. However, as an organization, we cannot pay CPS any amount of money which is outside the order which was given to us by the Concord. So we know that there are those particular interactions between CPS and National Treasury. And as an organization, all that we are waiting for is for the Concord to tell us what is the decision which they are taking, and will implement it as it is. However, Brandon, what I need to mention is that as we speak now, the South African Social Security Agency has not received an invoice from CPS.
Okay, so I think it's then that means that it's pending the conclusion of those discussions between National Treasury and CPS, and then you are waiting that order from the court before you can make any payment. Now, has CPS asked for an increase?
Look, Braden, I think I am not at liberty to venture into those particular discussions because they are taking place between the National Treasury and CPS. And remember, Braden, this matter must still go through the Concord, and the Concord must make a decision. So it will be very much wrong for me to talk about those particular figures and so on. But one can just deduce that there might have been a request for an increase, but I think it will be safe for us not to venture in that particular space. We as an organization, we think once the Concord makes a decision, we'll be the first one to make sure that we implement it, because we think that the interest of the beneficiary comes before the interest of anybody else.
Okay, thank you very much. That's Paseka Letsatsi speaking on behalf of Sassa, that is South African Social Security Agency.